What kind of a Prince fan are you? Whatever kind of Prince fan you are, we've got you covered here on A Show for Prince Fans on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
So, what is A Show for Prince Fans?
It's exactly that. It's a show about people and for people that love Prince's music, covering all the genres that he performed, written, composed throughout his career.
So, it's for me if I'm a Purple Rain Prince fan.
Or what about me if I'm a For You Prince fan, which is the first album that he put out, pre-Afro.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Was it for us MPG Music Club fans, MPG Exodus?
I'm not sure. I think I like them all.
I think I like them all, too. So whatever kind of listener you are, whatever kind of Prince fan you are out there listening, we got you covered right here on A Show for Prince Fans, powered by KUDZUKIAN. My name is Lee Eric Smith, and I am a Prince fan.
My name is Shannon White, and I was born a Prince fan.
And we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get straight into the music. This is from the 1992 album, the Love Symbol album, the one you didn't know how to pronounce. This is My Name is Prince.
My name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only. I did not come to fuck around till I get your daughter. I won't leave this town. In the beginning, God made the sea, but on the seventh day, He made me. He was trying to rest y'all when He heard the sound like a guitar, go getting down. I tried to bust a high note, but I bust a string. My God was worried till He heard me sing. My name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only. Hurt me, hurt me. My name is Prince, and I am funky. When it comes to funk, I am a junkie. I know from righteous, I know from sin. I got two sides, and they're both friends. Go try to clock them, they're much too fast. If you try to stop them, they'll kick that ass. Without a pistol, without a gun. When you hear my music, you be having fun. That's when I got you. That's when you mine. To tell the truth, tell me what's my line. My name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only. Hurt me. Working fresh for the 90s. My name is Prince. I don't wanna be king, 'cause I've seen the top. It is just a dream. Big cars and women and fancy clothes will save your face, but it won't save your soul. I'm here to tell you that there's a better way. Would I love be happy if it came today? I ain't saying I'm better, no better than you. But if you want to play with me, you better learn the rules. Ow, my name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only. I did not come to fuck around till I get your daughter. I won't leave this town. I won't leave this town. I won't leave this town. I won't leave this. Leave this. Oh, my name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only. Funky fresh for the 90s.
The funky, I be the funky, I get old shit. Lickety spit on the lyric, a new check in the pulpit. Watch you digging your jackets, thinking, what is it you're singing? The syncopated riser after peak win. You jumped on my DSCK, that's one thing I don't play the dots. Got what you pick for you anyway. You're just a simpleton, I'll bust it like a pimple, son, it starts to burn. spot, boy, I'm thinking like a ship beside adventure, you bumper ditches to be kind sure there must be more coming from your mouth than manure. So with the flow on this boy, I say, hey, you must become a prince before you're king anyway. Do that, somebody, do that. It's time I get ignorant. That beat the beat that I'm rocking, yo, so could get a hit. And put your thinking cap on, you've been forewarned. I call upon the inner force I've got blowing in my cauldron. That means my nuggets, sometimes I rugged, the style I possess. We have the other brothers bugging. And this is for those who oppose the proposed to overexpose. Disclose, pose the threat to my brother. Like any other man making a stand, I'll be damned if I let you play this hand. I'm the blackjack dealer and the cards are stacked. What do you expect to win when you're used to playing craps? Trigger that means it's a sticky situation to resurrect a groove with feeling and give it this much affection. Past it flows, who knows what lurks in the gallows of my mind. I put my foot in the ass of Jim Crow. 12 inches of non-stop soul. I'm on a road P. It's time for the show. So do that, so body. Wave your hands in the air. This is a motherfucking party. While you're laying back, I'm on the attack. Patty whack, give yourself a bone. This is my house and I'm prone to land some chrome upside some motherfucker's dome. And I'm out.
When I first heard this song, all right, I was really, really just blown away because I'd never, ever heard a song that was written from a perspective where it appeared that he was actually introducing himself to God. Because, you know, there's a lyric in there when he's breaking down the days as if it's the original verses of Genesis. And then on the seventh day, he says, what, Lee?
He says, and on the seventh day, God made me. He went on and said, he was trying to rest y'all when he heard a sound like a guitar.
Getting down.
Do you know how hard I laughed when this man said, I tried to bust a high note, but I busted a string. God was worried.
Till he heard me sing.
Ow! My name is Prince.
And I am funky.
That's our boy.
Hey, yeah, I never heard a song written from that point of view. Can you, I mean, you know, like, I just picture this little cat walking up to God like, yeah, check this out.
Man, it was back in, I was living in Florida when that album came out. That was the first album, that was my first fall in Florida. And Prince came to Fort Lauderdale Sunrise Musical Theater. So this is when he had the sailor's hat with the chains on it. Oh,
yeah, the chains and the mic gun.
And the mic gun. That was the debut of the mic gun.
The golden mic gun. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it was a small venue. So it was only like, I want to say 3,000-4,000 people. So it was a very kind of intimate kind of set. Tony M was jumping around on stage, you know, when he was trying to do that rap thing for that minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well. Prince did not do everything well.
Oh, no. He
got a couple of decent raps in there somewhere.
Yeah. I agree with that. But as you said, that era, for me, it wasn't the highlight. How about like that?
Well, I tell you what if we throw it all the way back? So we're going to go, for our next song, listener, we're going to go all the way back to 1979. You've heard Sexy Dancer, but when was the last time you heard the extended mix?
The extended mix?
The extended mix of Sexy Dancer here on a show for Prince fans.
Guitar broke down, bass broke down, drums broke down, keyboards broke down, all played by one individual. What's his name?
His name is Prince.
Sexy dancer, you got my body screaming. Sexy dancer, you got me just a creaming. Sexy dancer, girl, you run my body. Sexy dancer, it gets me so hot.
And that was the extended mix of Sexy Dancer. I remember the first time, well, I don't remember the first time I heard it because I heard that song a whole lot of times. But one of the fun things about that track for me is how on the album version, you don't get to hear the bass solo and the piano solo, and I don't think you get to hear the guitar solo. It's a much shorter version of the song. So the fact that, you know, on one of those 12-inch versions, he gets to stretch out a little bit and go ahead and groove and just let the groove breathe, man. That's just so much fun.
Yeah, it was as if, you know, he was just in a groove, you know, one of the earlier funk grooves, you know, because at that time when this came out in 79, all right, the disco era was dying out, all right? Studio 54 and all that stuff was still around, but slowly but surely dying away. And I also remember that year, the birth of hip-hop was coming out because Rapper's Delight came out in 1979. So we were kind of headed in a different direction.
Meanwhile, Prince is riding on winged
Prince
horses.
came out with this Sexy Dancer, butthole naked on a Pegasus, you know, and with this funk, man, that was rivaling the Funkadelics, the Barcades, and I was just like, what is this? You know, it was just something that I was really digging. I mean, it caught my ear like a fishing hook caught me on, you know, in the water. It got me.
And that was back in 1979. And one of the reasons why we are inspired to do the show, one of the reasons why we think it'll work is simply because of the sheer volume of music that Prince had, starting his career back in 1978, or before that, if you count the '94 East stuff.
Yeah.
But all the way up to now, that man recorded on average probably 1.5 albums a year. Each album having probably 7, 8, 9 songs, right? To bring us all the way up to 2014, Artificial Age. He was wearing an afro on his first album on For You.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing an afro on Artificial Age.
Yeah. But in between that, what other hairstyles did we see? We saw the straight Jesus look. We saw all kind of different variations of it. The short baby fro on Musicology.
Yep.
You know, the chain face mask with the sailor's hat. I mean,
hilarious.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive the way this cat kept reinventing himself.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and get back into the music. So from 2014's album, Artificial Age, this is Clouds. Never underestimate the power of a kiss on the neck when she doesn't expect.
You should never underestimate the power of a kiss on the neck when she doesn't expect. A kiss on the neck when she doesn't expect. A kiss on the neck. Every time you catch her singing in the shower, you should go and get a flower. No matter what the hour, just rub it on her back, rub it on her back, rub it on her back. In this brand new age, we do everything quick, fast, in a hurry. All of our lives are stage. Everybody's stars, reality's so blurry. If you scream out loud, the top of your voice wouldn't be higher than the crowd. No, tattoo-less and proud. Yeah, we're getting high on something that doesn't require clouds. No, we don't need no clouds. No. You should never underestimate the power. Never underestimate the power. No. Kiss on the neck. Kiss on the neck. Doesn't expect. Kiss on the neck. Kiss on the neck. Baby. Every time you catch her singing in the shower, you should go and get a flower. No matter what the hour. Just rub it on her back. Rub it on her back. Rub it on her back. I'll never make. I wanna give you something, baby, but I wonder, does it really even matter if it ain't on a stage? If it ain't on a stage, I don't think it really matters in this brand new age.
When life's a stage, in this brand new age, how do we engage? Bullying just for fun, no wonder there's so many guns. Maybe we're better off in space. Mr. Nelson, can you hear my voice? Sir, we know you're a little bit groggy, and you're probably going to find it hard to speak. But don't try to talk or process too much now. We just want to let you know that the medication you were given has put you in suspended animation for quite some time. Well, in fact, about 45 years. But where you are now is a place that does not require time. That being said, you are completely safe, and we're here to help you.
You should never underestimate the power of a kiss on the neck when she doesn't expect. A kiss on the neck when she doesn't expect. A kiss on the neck. It's in my power to love you. It's in my power to love you. It's in my power to love you.
Okay, that was Clouds by Prince. Absolutely a song that I think should have gotten a lot more airplay, but I was actually thrilled to death at the fact that I got to hear Prince on the Tom Joyner Morning Show with a new song, and it wasn't Kiss, and it wasn't When Doves Cry, and it wasn't Purple Rain. And I was just absolutely thrilled to death to hear this because I said, okay, my boy's back. Here it comes. Here we come. I knew it was coming back. And the catalog that he's bringing with him, it's got to be just, oh, man, I got goosebumps. I mean, Lee, what did you think when you heard it?
Man, every, like, I want to say it's probably like every 10 years or so, right? So Prince knew. I think he knew. He knew when he was making albums for the fans, right?
Right.
And he knew when he was making something that was going to be more commercial. And one of those albums to me that I felt like you did. I was like, this should be on the charts.
Absolutely.
Was Artificial Age. And that song Clouds it's one of those, man, I just like to roll down the window, pump up the stereo, and, you know, on a sunny day and just, you know, hopefully
I'm with you.
There's some leaves falling in the autumn, and, you know, that man preached. And it works, y'all. I'm telling you, he was preaching now. You really should never underestimate the power of a kiss on the neck when
she doesn't expect it. It works.
And we'll be back, though. We got more coming up for you on a show for Prince fans. When we come back in this next segment, we're going to dig into the Emancipation era. This is right after Prince ended his contract with Warner Brothers, and he was feeling a new sense of freedom. And he had a sit-down chat with Chris Rock. Hang tight. We'll be back with that here on a show for Prince fans, powered by KUDZUKIAN.
We're getting funky, y'all.
The Memphis Park with the Jefferson Davis statue was put up in 1964 during the Civil Rights Movement. These were all symbols of an oppression.
Sure. It's Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN.
A show for Prince fans on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
And digging through the crates on Prince music, I promised you we were going to bring you some stuff you hadn't heard before, some stuff that you maybe have heard before, but in a way you hadn't heard it before. And that's what we do right here.
We're going to show a sense of humor.
Exactly. And that's what we do here on a show for Prince fans. One of the things we'll show you is his sense of humor. Like, if you ever wondered if an interview with Prince and Chris Rock would sound like, it's about as crazy as it sounds.
As funny as it's going to get. And they're actually talking about the rivalry between Michael Jackson and Prince. But we're going to let you guys check it out. Tell us what you think.
Beatles had the Rolling Stones. Elvis had Jerry Lee Lewis. Early on in your career, who was the guy that you looked at and said, well, I got to get back in the studio? Did you hear so-and-so? Yeah. Let's get in the studio right now. Who did that for you? Everybody's got somebody.
Yeah, contrary to what a lot of people might believe, it was never somebody who was my contemporary.
There was never, like, any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
Oh, not to me, no.
Okay. So I love the story of you, you know, there's all these Prince, I'm sorry. That's the guy you used to be. Mm-hmm. There's the story of you turning down Bad.
Well, you know, that Wesley Snipes character, that would have been me. All right, now you run that video in your mind. The first line of that song is, your butt is mine.
Your butt is mine.
Now, I said, who's gonna sing that to whom? Because you sure ain't singing it to me. And I sure ain't singing it to you. So, right there we got a problem.
It's so weird now. You were made out to be this weird cat, and he was like Mr. Disney, and you're married, chilling. He's like a married man.
Well, you know,
play it.
You know, there again, you know, hopefully the press will get to the point where we'll it'll be a law where you have to tell the truth. It won't be about speculation.
Show for Prince fans on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
If you want it, we can kick it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Kick it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Before I'm out the wax too quizzical, let me just say that you are physically the most toned one I've ever seen. You're making me proud to be a human being. And if we're ever naked in the same machine, I'm gonna lick it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Kick it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. So first I need a picture of your mother to verify the fact that there's not another one in the universe so supreme. Damn, you got the rock to give up, brother cream. And if we're ever naked in the same machine, I'm gonna make it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Yeah. Joint to joint. Sex me? If you wanna, we can kick it, baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Oh yeah, I got some hot sauce. Joint to joint. Sex me? Right on. Baby, joint to joint. Sex me? Come upstairs to my room. Joint to joint. Joint to joint.
I never suck sour splints from a chew stick. Don't lick Vicks, cause fire sticks to flame. Get wicks to catch brothers who choose to let burns remain. Now I see all Dick's, Toms, and Harrys are not the same. Some dipped in my lower lip, sipped the supple poison. Poison.
Suppose it wanted to be.
your face and your undersuit. Sitting in the corner in your underwear. Let me caress your nappy hair. Joint to joint, nothing comes for free. If you show your love, you can get with me. And if you like the thunder, we can share the stone. Flames of desire, sweet gypsy moans. Sweet gypsy moans.
Now you think you're my soulmate. You don't even know what kind of cereal I like. Wrong, Captain Crunch with soy milk. 'Cause cows are for calves. You'd probably take me for half.
You don't love me. You're a faker. You just want me for my acres.
Joint to joint.
Show your love, you can get with me. Joint to joint, joint to joint. Nothing comes for free. Show your love, yeah, show me joint to joint. Nothing comes for free. Show your love, yeah, show me joint to joint. If we'll have to make it in the same machine, baby, we can kick it joint to joint.
I'm a musician. I live for that. I live for playing and creating songs. We get wrapped up in a lot of things. That's what writing Slave on Your Face is about, I got wrapped up in the ego of the whole thing.
After watching that interview, all right, when he explains to the fact that his introduction to be in the Bad video was he was going to play the part where Wesley Snipes is, and he was going to be saying to me, "Your butt is mine," and Prince said, "No, we ain't going to do that." I mean, hey, I get it, and he said, I ain't gonna say that to him neither. Ain't nobody's butt is anybody's today. So
you got that right.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's even more to that Bad story, right? So I remember watching an interview with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones was the producer of Michael Jackson's Bad album.
Correct.
And on stage recently, of course, Quincy said some crazy stuff, a lot of crazy stuff recently, but on stage, he was telling the story about how they did him and Michael sent a demo of Bad over to Prince and said, we would like for you to join us on this song. Quincy said on that stage that Prince sent back his version of Bad. We've never heard it. It's out there somewhere, and I don't know if Quincy might be a little...
Hey, it is absolutely something I'd love to hear.
But can you imagine Prince's version? Quincy said it sounds completely
different.
I completely redid the song.
Right. I can't. That's the whole point. Okay, I can't imagine. The whole beauty and the point of this show is because this guy kept us on edge with the fact that we never could imagine what he was going to come up with next.
Oh, talk about that. What we just heard was Joint to Joint. Which was on the second disc of Emancipation.
Yeah, this is pre-Jehovah's Witness Prince, so he was still freaky.
He was still very freaky. And a little bit of something. When I think about weird Prince, strange Prince, like this guy called up Savion Glover, famous tap dancer, and said, hey, Absolutely. I need you to come tap dance on my song.
Who's the last tap dancing individual that's been on the record? I don't know of any.
I do not know of any.
Well, not since Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, and since nobody's alive that even remembers them, we'll just keep it moving.
But yeah, we're gonna get on back to the music. So we're in the Emancipation era, and Prince, in a shift, did some cover songs on that album. One of them was a 1991 hit for Bonnie Raitt. Here is Prince's version of "I Can't Make You Love Me."
Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head.
Don't patronize me, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I'll feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can make you love me if you don't want. Do you? Do you love me? Look at me. I'll close my eyes, then I won't see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. And I will give up this fight. Oh yes I will. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't. Ah, but you know in the dark, baby, these final hours, I will lay down my heart. I'll feel the power. Yes, I will. You won't. Tell me why you don't. I can't make you love me if you don't. Come here, baby. I can't make your heart. Talk to me. Tell me where you want to be kissed. Talk to me. Tell me how you want me to do this. In this bedroom / church, you can guess the offering. I offer you sexual relations. You won't. Tell me what's up, baby. Am I moving too fast? Not only do I want to be the first, I want to be the last. Is that so bad? I want to. You know. I wanna make you love me. Do you love me? Come on, baby, you can take it. I wanna make it, but you won't love me. Love me. You won't love me, baby. What's a man to do? What is this man gonna do? I can't make you love me if you don't. I want you to love me. I need you to kiss me. Oh, darling. Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me. Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me
I have to admit that, I think the first time I heard that song was Prince's version. I was not aware of it, of I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. I wasn't aware of it before I heard this recording.
Neither was I. I thought it was an original of his own.
And it's a well-loved song. I mean, once I heard his version of it, and then I began to know, that it was such a huge hit for Bonnie Raitt and how beloved that song was for her on the country charts, it helped me appreciate the song even more.
Well, again, Prince was a lover of all people's music, okay? I mean, covering Bonnie Raitt, doing his own version of Creep. I mean, I've really heard him just blow some stuff up, And what I mean by blow some stuff up, I mean like he would truly take someone else's song and he can make it his own. It would just be different.
He did that 4 times on this album. It was kind of a break for him because before that, he was notorious for not letting anybody else produce him, not doing anybody else's songs and stuff.
Yeah,
and
control
then
freak.
Right, and he got off of the Warner Brothers contract, and then Emancipation comes out, and it has this cover of a Bonnie Raitt song, has Bet You By Golly Wow.
Stylistics.
Also has La 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 Means I Love You.
Yeah.
And he also did What If God Was One of Us.
Who originally did that?
I knew you were going to ask me that, but I forgot it once I heard Prince's guitar solo on this.
I totally agree with you.
It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song.
It really is. It really is. And I'm going to find out. And because, again, this is a song that he replayed and made his own. You just got to hear it, Listen to Emancipation. I'm sure you'll love it.
For real. We're going to keep this Emancipation groove growing right now. So on disc 3, this is Style by Prince on a show for Prince fans.
Style. Style. Dig it. Style. Come on. Style. It's not something that comes in a bottle. It's more like Jackie O when she was doing Aristotle. It's not a logo that sticks to the roof of one's ass. It's like a second cousin to class. Style. Come on. Style. Say what? Style. Come on. Check it. Ain't sitting courtside with the owner of the team. Style is owning the court and charging them all a fee. It's not lusting after someone because they're cool. Style is loving yourself till everyone else does too. Style. Come on. Style. Style. Well, style. Bridge.
Stop, don't get drunk on Saturday night. Try to dress up every Sunday morning bright. Stop, don't get married, then break the vow in a year. Style is keeping a promise. Raise your hand, y'all, if you hear me.
Style is not fighting style when you can't find the funk. Style is the face you make on a Michael Jordan dunk. Style ain't the Jeep you bought when you know your broke ass got bills. Style is letting your lover jive while you talk on the phone and chill. Style. 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 Come on. Style. Bridge.
Style is a go-to smile with an attitude. Style is a peaceful vibe, posting the rude.
Style is growing your what's inside every heart. Style is not a lie. Style is a man that cries. Style is a glow in a pregnant woman's eyes. A peaceful wild dress. Style. Style is not thinking about style. So let me stop. Style. Style.
Nice. What you call that? Style. I like that. It's about me. Right on. I ain't got no job, but I got style. Style. Oh
Style. Hang on. Style is buying your mom's a house. Style is a clean mouth. Style is puppy breath. Style is no fear of death. Style is Ali's jab. Style is hailing a cab. Then, giving them the finger when they pass your ass. Style! You got it. Bunny. Style! You got it. Shirley, shake your ass, Shirley. Shirley, I love you, Shirley. You got it. Style. You got it. Is Maite in the shower. Style. You got it. Soul, no power. Style. You got it. It's when all black men are free. Style. You got it. Is you and me. You got it. You got it. You got it.
A show for Prince fans on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
I like the way he said funking around.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
I did like that, but he said the older.
I'm gonna start using it.
He said the older electorate is funky.
Well, basically, it's what he's saying. He's saying that
midterm elections funking around,
and that's true
with our future.
Because it's noted. And I think you absolutely
don't let
midterm elections.
Don't let them
always
funk up the future.
Oh my God!
On the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Okay, so back in the day, we had these little circular discs that we called 45s. All right?
45?
45s.
Oh, you remember
not the gun.
Not the gun.
No, the
record. Remember the little orange little disc thing you had to put in the middle?
Yeah. You had to put the little, spirograph piece in there. I have no idea what you called it.
Millennials, we used to call these records.
Yeah, and they came in different sizes.
They did come in different sizes. And you had to play them at different speeds.
Absolutely. And you had to play 45s on 45.
You had to play 45s on 45. And one of the things that was always, this is part of the genius of this man, Prince, he was producing so much music at the time that, think back at the time when that single came out, so you had the hit single, right?
Right.
So for Michael Jackson, let's just say it was Billie Jean, right?
Hey, let's let our listeners know, what was the hit single it was on?
Hold up, I'm coming back to that.
Okay,
I'm
fair
coming
enough.
back to that. But say, Michael Jackson might have had a song and the single was Billie Jean, right? And then you
Right.
turn over the song, and I don't know what the B-side was to Billie Jean.
No.
Because usually up to that point, the B-side was some random album cut or something they didn't really care about. Nobody was really ever, like if you listen to it, they had to put something on the B-side.
Yeah, it was kind of like the fortune cookie at the dinner. You threw it away.
But Prince gonna put a song on the B-side that ain't on no album.
Right, yeah. Prince's B-side was like another fried rice.
Exactly. So if you wanted to get that song, if you wanted to hear that song, you had to buy that. You had to buy that 45.
Absolutely.
It was a brilliant way to sell music. It made those 45s even more valuable. And one of the earliest occasions where Prince did this was on the back of Let's Pretend We're Married, and that single was
Irresistible Bitch.
Every Friday night I call your butt up on the phone. A deeper voice answers and says you're not at home. Now if you think that I'm a fool who'll go for any line, then honey, put down all your money. You win every time. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you walk. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you talk. Irresistible bitch, and I really dig the way you kiss. Irresistible. Oh mama, I wish I could resist. My partners ask me why I take so much abuse. Why am I so faithful, honey? Why are you so loose? They say, why am I the one who never gets to take you home? But they don't know the things you do to me when we're alone. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you walk. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you talk. Irresistible bitch, I really dig the way you kiss. Irresistible. Oh mama, I wish I could resist. Hurt me, hurt me. Still on my honey. Played it off like it was a joke. Stealing all my honey, baby, keep you by my side. Bleed me till I'm broke. Hell if I know I let you drive my car. Don't I know that walking won't get me very far? Sure, I know that crying over you is just in vain. But all the things I lose don't add up to all the things I gain. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you walk. Irresistible bitch, I love the way you talk. Irresistible bitch, I really dig the way you kiss. Ain't it a shame? Irresistible mama, mama, I wish I could, but hurt me.
A show for Prince fans on the KUDZUKIAN Network.